All right, so we're going to talk about how to multiply decimals. Now, the algorithm for multiplying decimals is pretty simple. The first thing you want to do is you want to recognize which of the two factors is longer and which one is shorter, okay? When you're setting up the algorithm, the longer value goes on top, irrespective of which is bigger. So in this case, you've got 12.5, that's the longer one, that's going to go on top. So you're going to say 12.5, and then on bottom you're going to get 1.8. Now in this case, the decimals happen to line up, but when you're doing the algorithm for multiplying decimals, you do not have to have the decimals line up. In fact, you basically ignore the decimals completely. All right? Now, before I start, what I like to do is I like to approximate the product so I know kind of what the order of the answer should be. So 12.5 is about 13, rounding to the nearest whole unit. 1.8 is about 2. What is 2 times 13? About 26. So I'm expecting the answer to be somewhere near or around 26. Okay? When I'm done, I want to make sure that my answer is reasonable, which means it's close to this expectation I have of 26. When you're multiplying, you're going to do fan multiplication, which basically means that you're going to multiply kind of like this. You're going to say 8 times 5, then you do 8 times 2, then you do 8 times 1. That's kind of fan multiplication. So let's do it and see what happens. So the first part here, you're going to say 8 times 5 is 40. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let's change that to a pen. There we go. 8 times 5 is 40. Put the 0, carry the 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 4 is going to be 20. Put the 0, carry the 2. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. When you are done with that round of multiplication, cross off all the things you carried or borrowed, and then add a 0 placeholder, because now we're going to multiply by this next digit. And then I'm going to switch colors here. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we got our two partial products that we're going to add together. Basically, we're saying 8 times 125 is 1,000, and 1 times 125 is 125, basically, right? But the 0 on the end because it's in the tens place, if we ignore the decimals. And like I said, you're going to ignore those decimals. You pretend they're not there. Then you're going to add up your partial products together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. At the end, you're going to then look at the factors that you're working with here. You're going to count to the right in both factors to see how many places you have to the right of the decimal. And then you're going to move that many places to the left to locate your decimal. So just like we expected our answer to be around 26, it wouldn't make sense to have 2,250 as your answer or 225 as your answer. What makes sense is to have around 26, which is what? 22.5. The correct answer here is 22.5, and that seems like a reasonable answer. Okay, it's similar to what we approximated. It's the same order of value. It's not in the hundreds, not in the thousands. It's in the 20s. And that's how you know you did a good job.